Wow.
Is it recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh yeah, that game was
A
crazy.
real nail biter. Seahawks Patriots week 2. Seahawks come out on top 35-30.
Jesus, Satan, Buddha, whoever.
We got some problems in the secondary, am I right?
Big time.
Yeah. Back-to-back weeks of 400-something yards. Hold up. 397 by Cam Newton.
So,
that is too many.
Just call it 400.
429 total yards by 464 total yards by New England, 429 total yards by Seattle.
Yeah, our defense needs to figure it out. Our pass rush is really bad. Cam Newton had all day. And our secondary is not good either. Jamal Adams is the only one that's doing anything, but
And on pass rush, Jamal Adams was the only one to get into
he
Cam Newton.
also the only one doing anything.
Couldn't really bring him down.
But that's the thing is, he's so good, but he's not always in the secondary. He's rushing the quarterback a lot or just lining up down by the linebackers, and it's...
You can't be everywhere. He can't be everywhere. So wherever he is not, someone has to keep stepping up.
Well, it didn't help that...
2 injuries at safety.
Yeah, what's his
in the
name?
first half.
Quandre Diggs, is that his name?
Quandre Diggs got ejected from the game for a helmet-to-helmet contact.
I thought that they gave you, like... it's like if you get 2 personal fouls in a game.
I thought they gave
like
you a
basketball,
warning.
2 techs and you're out.
Yeah, I thought
I swear last year guys were getting warnings that they were saying, like, number 30 has a warning on the personal foul because it's like if you... Any personal foul after that, even if it wasn't helmet to helmet.
If they're really trying to get it out that much that they
That one was pretty egregious.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game was just...
That was straight up just face to face.
A crazy emotional roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
He got kicked out immediately.
Don't say emotional roller coaster. It was an emotional ride.
Yeah, he got ejected, and then Marquise Blair comes in, who's good and young, but then he got hurt. What was the update on him?
I don't know. Did he break his leg? I didn't see an update. The footage of him and his leg just going...
And Bruce Irvin, too.
Yeah, at the end.
That was a no-contact one. That's pretty bad. I mean, our pass rush is already bad. We need Bruce Irvin.
I feel like that could be a career-ending injury. That was a no-contact injury where he just kind of went down out of nowhere.
Way to think positive.
Yeah. Best of wishes to Bruce Irvin out there.
Yeah.
He'll come back. I think I'm gonna think positive. But after all the bad stuff, the good stuff was Russell Wilson fucking killed it again. He really wants that MVP.
Yeah. Okay. So
9 touchdown passes through 2 games.
Yeah. So 21 of 28, 288 yards, averaging 10, which is nice and high.
10.3.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns. Obviously, the mistake by Olsen, or else you don't have that pick.
God,
I wish I sacked 2 times. Improvement on the sack.
But I wish there was a stat like that for quarterbacks where pitchers have like unearned runs. That should be like an unearned interception for Russ.
It should.
When you have how many years has Greg Olsen been in the league?
At least 34. So a lot.
Like 15.
When you have a 10-plus
17.
year tight end and it hits both of his hands, granted it was a little bit behind him.
Yeah. And he's a former Pro Bowler, like he should have had that.
But you get 2 hands, 2 hands on the ball. You should probably.
They happen to be playing that zone defense, and the guy's just chilling there. Yeah. Fell right into his lap.
But you got to think there might be a reason Carolina was willing to part with him.
Well, it's because he's
old.
Like the last 3 years of them, he didn't play like very many games at all. He had a lot of foot injuries.
Yeah, he was injuring his ankle.
That's what I thought was
knee.
weird when we signed him. Was like he had so many injuries, and he had even like signed on to be a broadcaster, I think, and decided to try and come back. Then we got
Jason
him.
Witten did that too,
and that's cool. I like that we got him. Or maybe he was one of those guys. I think just while he was hurt, he did some, like he wasn't like a full-time guy, but he decided to keep trying to play.
Yeah,
and I like him, but you gotta catch that. Without that pick 6 right there, the game
would have been much more comfortable.
Much more comfortable the whole time.
But how about that stop on the goal line?
That was nice. How the dude on the edge just took out the fullback, and then he had too much traffic at his legs. He had to try and jump, and L.J. Collier just got him.
And that wasn't the only play L.J. Collier had in the game. He was able to penetrate the line earlier in the game.
He did something I remember.
No, he tipped a pass from Cam Newton.
He slammed.
That's right.
He hit the pass out of the air.
Yeah,
which could have been a pick if people were ready, but I don't blame him for not being ready. But yeah, our pass rush is bad, but Russell Wilson is making up for it.
They weren't very effective in the run. We did a really good job at blocking the run.
67 total. Cam had 11 carries, 47 yards. I don't think that sounds too bad, but obviously his 2 touchdowns, because anytime you're within the 10, you kind of expect, like on the last play of the game, you kind of expect in the 10, and especially within the 5, Cam Newton's going to do that 2-step to one side, look for the smallest hole.
Well, why didn't he just Tom Brady and just line up in the I formation and dive right through the middle?
I really hope that it was either Pete Carroll or Ken Norton that was like, they're going left. I really want to hear that tomorrow. As we knew he was going left, because that play was blown up from the very start. Sam, like you were saying, was kicking in on the tackle, getting in with there, immediately making him take another step outwards, and it was done from there.
New England averaged 2.7 yards rushing in the game. Seattle averaged 5.1. That's how you win a football game.
Which is why, what the
so he barely won.
How badly did Julian Edelman
with when we got the ball back with just over 2 minutes, it was making me. First off, I hated that when Chris Carson got the ball, and then he just slid. It's like there was no one in front. I get you wanted to not stop the clock because it was. I mean, it would have getting to the 2-minute warning anyways, so it would have stopped no matter what. Just he could have got the first down there. I think at least take off a couple more seconds.
Plant your foot and just
get it
lower
to the
your shoulder and just get through
warning.
Those couple of guys. Because if you get 2 more yards, you're still in bounds and.
Because if he would have done that,
it's second and
2. It was a good pro football move, but it just wasn't right at the right time. If that had been any other time on the clock, it would have been like, oh wow, he's a real heads up pro.
Well, if it was under 2 minutes,
if it was under 2 minutes, it would have been smart, but not over.
No.
And on that drive as well, when we had 3 and 1, we just said we averaged over 5 yards a carry for the game. We had 3 and 1.
Right.
We went for that deep ball to Tyler Lockett.
What was that?
What are you doing? That's the only reason they had enough time to even get down there in the first place. They would have had to burn a timeout, so they would have stopped the clock. But that would have been one less timeout for them on their final drive. Dixon could have punted it down and had him, have
great
that
punt
really
by
long
Dixon.
Field. It was a great
that
punt.
just died right at the 2-yard line.
That one that hit on the 3 and died on the 2 was crazy.
I just noticed real quick that Greg Olson's only target. Was that
he didn't get targeted again after that.
He didn't get thrown the ball.
Well, I noticed earlier he got back out on the field, and then he had a penalty, a false start penalty, and they just took him right back out of the game.
Yeah. I want to bring up
hate to see it.
Metcalf, because is he already just going to establish, at the end of this season, are people going to be saying he is the next great tight end?
He's not a tight end. He's a wide receiver.
I'm sorry, wide receiver.
He's Megatron. Russell Wilson, when he threw him that touchdown pass, he put so much air under it because he knows he's the biggest guy out there. He can go up and get it if there's a contested catch.
He didn't have to go up. He
didn't have to.
Right in there. He just had to slow down a tiny bit.
Just like not a half step, like a quarter step.
Even Stephon Gilmore, the defensive player of the year last year,
tried to bat it in and pull it down.
He threw it like you said. It's so high arcing that it just drops into his
into the basket,
right into his lap. And the guys. I mean, he did really good at hiding that the ball was coming in too, so that helps. But he's so fast and so big. I think he'll maybe take over as the number 1 target here.
Well, but Lockett,
the true number 1.
Lockett reminds me so much of Jermaine Kearse, where he's so good at yards after contact. He can catch the ball and he can get you another 5, 6, 7, 8 yards.
Yeah.
After he spins and jukes,
him and Russ
he can take because he's so quick. He can take in 5 yards.
He'll do that one step. He'll do that one step back, and that just gives him the opportunity.
His first 2 steps are 5 yards, and because he's so fast, he can just turn the corner even quicker. He's Mr. Reliable at this point. I mean, the threat is Metcalf, but I think every time Russell Wilson's looking out for a slant or something under 10 yards, he's like, where's Lockett?
But Moore had that crazy touchdown catch too.
Tyler Lockett is still also a deep threat, though. He's so fast. He can get out there. So
he's kind of little. Moore's a little bigger.
Yeah, Moore's big, and that was
such a fucking pro move.
Another great
keeping his toes inbounds
by him.
Did he, essentially outshine the defensive player of the year? Wasn't that what Gilmore got last year?
They were going at. They got into a little fight
on
the
sideline. They're doing that the whole game, but
I love it.
Dude, if there's any momentum going into next week, it's saying I just beasted the best player last year.
Yeah, he burned him on that one touchdown, too. That was beautiful.
Yeah. What a find.
So, really critical up at the front, but there's a lot of good things to see in this game.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned with the bad. I know Russ is good. I know he's going to do his thing, but The defense just needs to not let people throw for over 400 yards or 400 yards. I guess Cam Newton didn't get 400, but 397 is just as good.
Isn't it funny that just within a few years we've gone from our defense kills it and does everything it has to do, and
like
our
shutting out
offense,
teams 3 weeks in a row.
Our offense barely squeaks by, and then now our offense is going off consistently more than we've seen in
our
almost
offense
any
went
other
off
season.
back then too. We
And
were scoring 50 points a game. Remember when we scored over 100 points in 2 weeks?
But that was
our Super Bowl
rare,
year,
right? And then, but now it's like our defense is just barely getting by.
Mm-hmm.
Because granted, when we had our Marshawn Lynch in his prime,
right?
When we're winning games 17-9, that score doesn't look impressive. I'm just saying, like last week and this week, clearly we are able to move the ball consistently and put up touchdowns
Russell Wilson
instead of field goals.
Is just making such better decisions with the football than he did earlier in his career.
Well, now letting him cook.
Well, it's always been run offense, like mostly running. Always, it was like 60. 2/3 running, like most of his career. And these past couple of years, they've been cutting him loose a little bit more, and he has been killing it.
But our run game's a threat again this year.
Yeah,
because we've got a stable of running backs.
Bringing in Carlos Hyde was so good.
They're growing up at the same time.
When we get Penny back, we're going to be killing it. Fresh legs all game. You're going to have Chris Carson coming at the start, and then just go back and forth between Penny and Carlos Hyde, whatever it calls for. I mean, they're both powerful and
you got
fast.
Homer too.
Homer, yeah. I mean, if we need to use him, we're going to probably go with those 3 mainly.
Yeah.
And just use Homer as a return specialist.
Is it a good stat line when you have 4 guys rushing the ball 154 yards?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's 72 yards, 39 yards, 22, and 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just got a stable of guys who we can trust to take care of the football.
It just looks weird to me seeing that many guys with that many yards.
It's funny because the Patriots were one of the first teams to do that, running back by committee. Remember when they had
week in and week out, yeah.
They had LeGarrette Blount, who was the guy who dropped the ball a bunch, and Bill Belichick made him stand on the fucking sidelines for a whole game.
I don't remember.
Stephon, Steven.
I don't know, man. But yeah, people have always had multiple running backs, but Chris Carson's still our number 1. It's not like running back by committee.
Not a
What was the number
not a
of
lot
carries?
of teams even have 3 or 4 running backs like that.
Speaking of running backs,
what was the number of carries?
Carson had 17, Wilson 5, Hyde 5, and Homer 3.
There you go. So yes, he's our number 1. He got 17 carries.
Well, but
so just having those other guys to go in with the fresh legs when you want Chris Carson to get some Gatorade or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fucking perfect, man.
Wilson has the highest average, averaging 7.8 yards per rush.
Yeah.
Well, he knows exactly when to run.
He takes his spots.
He's very, very good at it, too. He knows exactly when he needs to just tuck it and run.
In fact, that one touchdown that he threw to Lockett, I believe, that one where he delivered right over the middle.
He could have ran.
He had a lane wide open to run into the end zone.
But he also knows when he can complete the ball to his guy.
I still want to see him. I still want to see him take it on that one. I don't. I have nightmares from the Super Bowl.
Well, I'd rather not him. I'd avoid him getting hit at all costs.
He wasn't going to get hit.
You don't know that? You can't see every player on the field with that camera view.
Is Russell Wilson throwing harder this year? Does it seem like when he's throwing those laser passes that it's just?
I don't think harder.
I don't think it just looks a little faster. But
that's not what That's not what I notice when I see Russ pass the ball. I see him with those touch passes, just putting it right into the basket that the receiver needs, just right over the shoulder.
He's the best in the NFL at deep ball accuracy, I think.
Yeah.
He just is so good.
And
Lockett got that.
He trusts his receivers. All his receivers are returning.
Him and Metcalf are getting better every week. I love it. I'm so happy we got him.
But he trusts Moore. He trusts Lockett.
I don't know how Metcalf didn't get snatched up earlier with his combine. Just how crazy.
He had injuries in college, didn't he?
I don't know if he had injuries. I know people had trouble with his. They said he dropped balls, I think, but
which he was.
But
last year.
He looked very sure-handed today.
That's going to happen with rookies, though.
And there was one of those Russell Wilson bullet passes where Metcalf was doing just a crossing route right over the middle, going from right to left. And Wilson just delivered a strike kind of right up here in the awkward area.
Yeah.
And he just pulled it right down, secured it, and Got his yardage.
And because he can run so fast and
he's
so
big
after that it's like, if he's got a little seam after the catch, he can go all the way.
And getting back to surprise of why he wasn't drafted is because wouldn't you rather just go after the guy who is 6'4", 220 or something like that? You say you can practice more to make sure you don't drop the ball, but you rarely get a guy who is that tall and is that fast and is that athletic. And I was surprised when we got him too, because it's like I figured he would have been top 10. Where did we get him at? Like,
he was a second rounder. I don't know what the pick was, but second round. And
receivers really don't often go in the first round, though. It's rare to see a receiver go in the first round.
No, receivers go in the first round all the time.
Yeah,
it happened
but it's
just in this draft.
And that's what I mean. It's just for him to be the biggest one.
I feel like a lot of teams shore up the safer positions like O-line and defense.
That's true,
and stuff like
but
that.
every year there is receivers.
We pick O-linemen.
The skill positions get drafted in the top 10 every single year.
Yeah.
The ones that are really good, because you can't miss out on those, and they usually work out, except for like Trent Richardson.
I can't really think of the last huge receiver to come out of college.
There's a bunch like every year.
All the Alabama guys are highly picked.
Amari Cooper,
because they're guys who are 6 feet tall.
Amari Cooper hasn't been in the league that long, and he's a stud wide receiver.
Yeah.
You're missing a bunch. You could find one on every team, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I feel like the biggest receivers, not the biggest physical receivers, but the guys who've had the most success are the guys who go in later rounds. And
it's of course.
You have a better shot at finding a diamond in the rough when you pick a skill position in the later rounds.
Well, depends on who it is you're drafting. There's some people that are just sure shots that are going to be good, so they'll get drafted. But of course, like the later rounds are going to provide a lot of gems just because that's a bigger sample size than the early picks. If you're talking about the guys that get drafted early, that's one round, and then there's
first two rounds.
However many other rounds there are in the NFL.
3 through 7.
Is there only 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the 4th through 7th rounds are like 60 picks. Each team gets like 2 or 3 picks in each round.
Yeah, I mean, on our team alone, we got a bunch of guys that
and a lot of those guys
after the second round. If you want to say the first 2 rounds are like probably those top guys, which I agree with. The first 60 players that come off the board are the really like sought after ones.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're just picking guys from maybe, the number 2 guy on that team, or just some random D3 or D2 school or whatever the hell people do. But we have a lot of those dudes on our team that we got after round 2 that are the best players on our team. Most of them.
That's where you get the guys who are the hungriest.
The highest player...
Because that's our mentality, is next up and always compete.
The highest drafted player we probably have on our team is Jamal Adams. He was like the 5th overall pick something.
Well, just of guys that we drafted, who's the highest draft pick right
guys
now?
That we drafted, maybe. Well, we also don't have our first round pick a lot of years.
Yeah, we trade. Draft picks.
We trade them around.
Draft
and
picks are one of the most overvalued things in football.
Well, that's what we always do. Like you like to say, you find the gems in the later rounds.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll and John Schneider have always they trade.
We got Percy Harvin from a draft pick.
First round pick to get 2 second round picks and a 4th round pick or whatever.
Yeah.
Then we'll trade one of those second rounders to get 2 third rounders. And it's like now we just have all these draft picks stacked in these last 3 or 4 rounds that we're going to try and draft all these guys like whatever. Bobby Wagner went to like Utah State or something.
I think he was a 5th rounder.
I thought Bobby Wagner was.
Bobby Wagner was a 3-star recruit in high school.
Yeah, but what was the last guy we had, like the number 4 pick? Who did we use that on? I'm trying to think of the last time we had a legit like first round pick, because obviously a first round pick in the 20s.
You're talking about like way back, like when we got Aaron Curry?
I'm just trying to think. So usually because in the last 10 years we make the playoffs, we go semi deep, so we have the picks in like the teens or like the 20s, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why we're if we give that away, because it's not like we're not getting a lotto pick in the top 10. I'm trying to think of the last time we had a top 10 pick. I think we had the number 4 pick.
Russell Okung?
Yeah, probably Russell Okung. Wasn't he a really high
Who was
pick?
that linebacker we got from Wake
Curry.
Forest? Yeah.
Aaron Curry. I said it like a couple minutes ago. You just didn't listen. Yeah, he was a big time bust.
Yeah.
So it's not always a sure thing, but I feel like football is more of a sure thing? Like in terms of sports drafting people?
I don't know. That's mostly just quarterbacks. Because the other guys, you
But
don't
a lot of
really
those
hear about.
quarterbacks flop too.
I
Yeah,
feel
but
like-
they have their time to shine, and then they fail, and then they fizzle and disappear.
Well, what order do you put it in then for the leagues that we care about? So let's just do NFL, NBA, MLB. I think the least sure thing is pretty clearly the MLB, right? MLB draft. You have to go through so many levels to get to the
Yeah.
pros. You get injured, you're fucked.
And
Yeah.
it's only a 25-man roster.
the s-
Football's got a 52-man
And the
roster.
skill
Yeah.
level jump is
53.
probably way bigger
50
for baseball,
52.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's
Yeah.
the biggest skill jump in terms of college to the pros is baseball?
I don't know.
Well-
College football to pro football, it's
I mean,
a whole
obviously,
other speed.
obviously they're all big,
Yeah.
but those
And then basketball too,
college pitchers versus MLB pitchers.
but it's like squaring up against a college basketball center versus an NBA basketball center.
Yeah, it depends on what college you're playing for, I guess.
Yeah,
also.
I don't know. There's been some years where the full lineup of future NBA stars at Duke is kind of like, well, these guys might beat the Wizards.
But they don't put guys. But they're all 19 years old.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
when you don't put on mass until you get to like 23, 24, 25.
Well, there's always been that, like, when you think of like those college teams that are stacked, like I feel like it would happen most years. What I mostly remember is when the Browns were really, really bad, and it's like, do you think Bama could beat the Browns? And
Yeah.
it's like, honestly,
But
I still
people
think
in
the
the know,
Browns- I
people in the
still-
know say that no, they can't.
I still
would
do
be
obviously
close.
think the Browns would win because you're an NFL team. People are just way bigger.
Yeah.
But, I think it might not be like the Browns are going to kill them. I
So-
think it might be a pretty
Oh,
close
so
game.
on the opposite side of that too. So if you took, like just as that example of Bama being one of the best, 2 years ago as one of the best teams in college history, as close as a game would it be to the Browns, like the worst team in the NFL? If Bama goes against like the Seahawks or the Patriots or like one of the top 3 teams,
They get slaughtered.
is it a slaughter or is it still kind of like, okay, well it's like 50-30? You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
think-
Like,
no, I
are
don't
they
think
still
they'd
even
score that
putting up
much.
points against the best NFL team? Like
No, because
our Super Bowl years, would they see that Alabama team just be like,
no, I
Murder.
Like
Yeah,
but like the
It wouldn't
Browns,
even be
I've
close.
the Browns might be close.
I've been on the field for
The
the,
Browns
SEC
under Hugh
championship.
Jackson.
I've been on the field for NFL games. They're so much bigger and they
Yeah.
move so much faster. It's really not.
No, the size difference is crazy.
Yeah.
And the speed is another level.
Well, once you get to the NFL,
But that's what
they're
guys
like,
say is the game moves so
all
much
you're
faster
doing
here.
is bulking up and working out and
Yeah.
practicing.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
that's
like
still the
college-
case in college though.
college-
Hold on,
college,
That-
you still have-
that's my
You get
biggest.
paid for it.
But that's my biggest argument that college football players should get paid because it's like a 60-hour a week job.
Well,
Yeah.
in college, you still have to go to class.
No, you
Student athlete.
No, you don't.
Oh, they're student athletes. I love that episode of South Park.
But really though, yeah, college football is a 60-hour a week job, and
Yeah.
and they're waking up early as shit in the morning to practice, and they're practicing until noon. Maybe have 25 minutes of class in the afternoon, and then back to practice.
25 minutes to go
When
to
the-
class.
when I
Like
saw-
you're doing anything. You aren't doing your homework either. You're doing nothing.
It was
It's cool,
something.
though.
Someone wrote an article like LSU came out and said if we don't have college football, we'll lose $70 million or something like that. And someone goes, so basically these players aren't getting paid, and you guys make $70 million off of what they're doing.
And they were like,
Yeah, it's kind of like
Shit.
you shouldn't have said
I didn't
that out
think
loud.
about that before I said it. I was
Like,
so
are you shitting me?
I was
Like,
so confident that you guys were gonna cave after I said that. I did not think about the whole not paying them thing. But didn't they pass something where like they can get paid now, like only in California or Cali passed
Yeah,
that
they
bill?
have the rights to
California,
their
they
name
can
and
they
their
can
image,
monetize their
right?
likeness. You can monetize your
Yeah.
likeness.
Well,
Yeah.
guess what?
So you can make
Here
appearances
comes
for your local car dealership, and you can get
Well,
paid for that.
USC is about to be really good again.
Does
Mhm.
that mean that like the jersey sales with number 9 and you are number 9? Are you getting money off of that? Because
I don't think so. No, I think you can monetize your likeness, but you're not
Okay.
entitled to the revenues that the
'Cause
college.
they don't put the name
sells.
So
on
if I'm a
the
D1 college player and I want to make jerseys, I want to pay, have someone make jerseys with my name on the back in that school uniform and sell that.
There's
No.
I can make
no,
that
you
money.
can't do
Well,
that.
no,
that's your image,
You,
that's you,
no,
no?
you
But
can't
that's-
because
you're
the
using
jersey is
school's
trademarked.
image.
Okay.
But you can set up your own T-shirt company, like Tim Tebow could have set up his own T-shirt
Okay.
company.
Okay.
Hey guys, we've gone off the rails here.
Yeah, we have.
This is a Seahawks
This is
podcast.
the Seahawks. It's a football podcast.
I
it's
just
more of a football.
thought about that. But anyways,
Let's look ahead to next week. We got the Cowboys.
We need some improvements on our secondary because once again, receivers are 8'6", 8'4" receptions, 117 yards from Edelman, 72, 47.
yeah, Edelman almost getting fucking 200 yards.
Oh my God.
That's 2 weeks in a row that the opposing team just has every guy is getting open.
He's not.
That's not
good.
Every guy is getting open.
Julian Edelman, he's just got such a great head for the game because he's not bigger and he's not faster than anyone else out there, and he is so good at getting open.
Because that motherfucker's got hands.
Yeah.
That too.
Sure, he made some crazy catches. Not just in this game, his whole career.
Also, he's had Tom Brady and Cam Newton throwing to him, which is a big part of it.
I was wondering
if Jimmy Garoppolo was his quarterback.
Is Edelman Hall of Fame? He's got some Super Bowls.
Yes.
No.
He doesn't necessarily have Hall of Fame numbers, though.
Yes, he absolutely is Hall of Fame.
No.
Because he's had the fortune of having the greatest quarterback as his quarterback.
Tom Brady's Hall of Fame.
Right. I'm obviously, yes. I'm just saying Edelman does not have Hall of Fame numbers. He's got 2 Super Bowls.
Just because you're on the team that wins Super Bowls.
Right. That's what I mean. Like,
you could. There's been plenty of number 1 receivers on a Super Bowl team that don't make the Hall of Fame.
Right. Deion Branch was the Super Bowl MVP, had a great season, but he's not, you know what I mean? Like, he has a good career.
He's just third in line of short white wide receivers that Tom Brady made famous.
Right.
He is not a Hall of... Okay, is Wes Welker a Hall of Famer, Nate?
He played with Peyton Manning
as well. Danny Amendola a Hall of Famer?
Right. Does your Hall of Fame quarterback
But Edelman has had so much more longevity than those guys.
Shit.
Wes Welker had the concussion issues.
Wes Welker had a lot of longevity.
Yeah.
He had concussion. He would have had more longevity if it wasn't for the concussions.
Well, that's his fault.
Man,
you play in the NFL and you're 5'9". So.
Tripping. Julian Edelman is not a Hall of Famer.
But just to think of like obvious Hall of Fame quarterbacks who had an obvious Hall of Fame receiver, there's a big difference between those guys and a guy like Julian Edelman.
Well, you can't just be
or
good.
Wes Welker.
You can't just be like one of the best receivers in the postseason and get into the Hall of Fame. You got to have the career too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he has a career because of Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't.
I hate the Patriots
doing that
so
much better because of guys like Julian Edelman.
Edelman is.
I mean, nothing against him. Like he's a good receiver. I just don't think
he's not a Hall of Famer.
I think he's part of that borderline of not Hall of Fame.
What do you got for us?
He is among active receivers. He's number 12 in receptions. He's number 20 in receiving yards.
I mean, all time.
Yeah.
All time, 74 receptions, 168 in receiving yards.
He's not going to crack the top 50. He's not going to crack the top 100.
Look at you. Look at you over there.
Oh, let's see his Hall.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Okay. His Hall of Fame monitor, ProFootballReference.com, is 35.5. Average Hall of Fame score for a wide receiver is 106.2.
Very far.
Yeah.
Very far away.
I'll eat crow on this one. It's an expression I've never used in my life before.
Well, now you have.
Now I have, because I said that Julian Edelman was a Hall of Famer.
Okay, so
but he fucking eviscerated us this week.
Yeah, so who do we have next week that we have to
he's
improve
very
upon?
good, but he's just not a Hall of Famer.
Dallas.
The Cowboys? Oh, shit.
Dak Prescott is going to run all over our defense. It's up to our linebackers.
But he's going to throw for
right. Our linebackers will be able to contain him, but can our secondary
not
handle
only
it?
Dak Prescott's very talented, he can run and throw. He's going to cut us up throwing because he has so many weapons.
Is Dak Prescott more of a running threat than Cam Newton?
No. Cam Newton's like one of the best rushing quarterbacks ever, if not the best.
Dak just has that kind of scramble ability.
Dak, well, he can do it. Definitely.
He's like the poor man's Russ.
But Dak has so many weapons. What are his weapons there? He's got Amari Cooper. They just drafted CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
They got Gallup, right? That's their other dude.
Do they still have the best offensive line, the highest paid offensive line?
I think some of those dudes are gone, but they got Zeke, obviously.
Ezekiel Elliott's nose ring makes me uncomfortable.
Real quick, did you guys see like the replay of Aaron Donald just like throwing Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah,
that motherfucker is.
Dude, in the same game, he did that. He pushed. He threw that one lineman into the other lineman, and they both fell down. Who?
Aaron Donald.
I don't know how big. He's just a giant
he's not
man.
super tall. He can like bench press 5,000 pounds.
I'm pretty sure he's also super tall.
There's no defensive linemen that are 6'8". What did you say?
Lorenzo Carter is fucking huge. He's a D end.
Dude, he's not. I don't think he's that tall. I think he's maybe like
Lorenzo Carter's at least 6'8".
He doesn't. I mean, he's just so much of a freak. He's
What's his
giant.
height,
He's
Nate?
got quick
6'1".
hands,
I was way wrong.
All right, see.
but he's ginormous. And he's got these
Oh,
quick
yeah.
hands. So strong.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott is also very big and strong, and he got tossed like a little child.
Dallas
Both
defense
feet off of the ground.
Dallas defense gave up a bunch to the Rams week 1. They gave up a bunch to
Well,
the
they also-
Falcons today.
Yeah, I gave up 39 to 40.
On a good side, I do feel positive that we can score at least 30 points again.
Russ is going to do his thing. Our defense needs to. Well, the thing is, there's so much better receivers on Dallas than there are on New England.
Yeah.
Other than Hall of Famer Julian Edelman.
It's true.
No, but
It's
He's
for
the
real.
White
They
Man
got
Hall of Fame.
Amari Cooper and CD.
He's in the White Receiver Hall of
Right.
Fame.
Him,
That
Wes
one-
Welker,
Steve
That one
Largent.
Hail
Steve
Mary.
Largent. Well, Steve Largent's in the real Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
but
Well, yeah.
in our hearts, he's
No, Steve Largent's one of the best receivers of all time. He's got the numbers to back it up.
yeah.
He ain't no Julian Edelman.
What's it? 35%.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it wasn't 35%.
What would you
Dak
say?
Prescott threw for 450 yards today. One
Well,
yeah,
one
he'll throw
intercept,
400.
one touchdown, no interception. How do you throw for 450 yards with one touchdown?
So he's going to throw for 800,000 yards against the Seahawks, apparently.
He ran for 3 touchdowns.
No, I feel confident that we'll figure it out. He'll at least tighten it up enough.
Yeah.
Just don't give up. Let's try to keep it under 21, boys. Under
Okay,
3
so
touchdowns.
score prediction. Score prediction next week, Sam.
I think
Hey,
it's going to
don't
be
make me
another.
go
I think it's
first.
going to be another high-scoring game.
Okay, Nate, you go first.
Ah.
Okay, I'll go first. I would say 42-35.
I see us scoring
I
in
think
the.
it's going to be that high score.
I see us scoring in the 30s. I'm hopeful that our defense can put something together because Dallas relies heavily on the run with Ezekiel Elliott, and our linebackers can stop the run, and we've got Jamal Adams up the middle to help with that. Whereas Atlanta, where they were playing this week, who's Atlanta's linebacker?
No.
Who's
They got nobody.
Who's on their D line?
I think Adams has got a spy.
Like I said,
Zeke.
the Falcons are bad. I said that last week, and they proved it to me this week.
Yeah, dude, they watched that onside kick just roll right by them.
Yeah.
That was so
What the
funny.
hell are you
Three
doing?
different
He was
guys.
moving like 3
Dude, the
miles
guy
per
ran
hour.
around it to like box out
Yeah.
nobody. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Just
Just
lay down.
grab it.
Just
Go grab
literally lay down like you're taking a
it.
nap.
Yeah, fucking idiot.
But my score prediction with no reasoning behind it like Nate is 28-24 Seahawks.
I want to see us go 35-17.
You think the defense is going to tighten it up, huh?
I really hope so. Because one good
Me
thing
too.
about this game that wasn't necessarily true last game because Russ was getting hit a lot last game is our offensive line did a much better job of protecting Russell Wilson.
I would say a better job. He still got sacked twice.
I just remember the one.
He got sacked twice.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, but he was able to stand in the pocket and identify different receivers.
I'm looking for 0 sacks in a game. Then I will make
For a quarterback as
I will
mobile
commend our offensive
mobile and as elusive as Russell Wilson, to get 0 sacks in a game doesn't seem like it would be a
No.
crazy thing to wish for.
Yeah. Well, that
No.
sometimes he's pretty good at staying in the pocket, but when he has to roll out of the pocket, that's sometimes when we get called for holding, just because our guy's not looking where he is, and the guy tries to roll off to the opposite way. He ends up getting caught for a hold, or he just can't block him anymore because he's like, "Oh shit, I didn't know Russell was over there."
I'm glad we tightened up the penalties in the second half. Wait, we had 6 in the first half.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
I-
especially on that drive when we forced a field goal.
Yeah.
I was just saying, no dumb penalties, no dumb penalties.
Yeah, and it worked.
And
Yeah,
it worked.
But
You
still,
changed
it's
our
just
fortune.
it's we're lucky for that because you can't have a lot of teams don't have 6 in the first half and then tighten it up.
Yeah, and we have grown accustomed to defensive penalties over the years, but
And keep Brandon Brown.
during the Legion of Boom years, we would get a lot of penalties, but we would also do good instead of giving up 400 yards. And
But they were the good kind of
450
penalties
yards.
where it was our guys were getting a little too chippy with their guys, where it's
Well,
like
no, Richard Sherman would not Richard Sherman, I guess, but Brandon Browner would get called for penalties.
Yeah, holding all the time. Pass interference, holding. 39. Like, yep, okay.
Yeah.
Don't give up the big play.
But back in those days, the Seahawks were bullies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
that's what you can get away with
that's the kind of football you got to play.
We would get called for roughness sometimes too, but I feel like a lot of the time it would get turned over when they saw the review. Like when Cam Chancellor would go in and murder someone, it looks really bad, but then you see the replay, like the Vernon Davis hit, greatest hit of all time.
Remember that
when he gets smacked and they threw the flag on that one, but when you look in the slow-mo, he just launches at him like a missile right into his chest and murders him.
Remember that playoff game where we ripped off Fozzie Whitaker's helmet?
That guy sounds like a Muppet kid.
He did sound like a Muppet
I don't really
character.
remember that, but it sounds about right.
Yeah. Positive side, my prediction is I think we're going to get at least 2 picks.
Next game?
I think Dak throws 45, 50 times a game.
He runs a lot.
No.
He ran 22 times.
Does he throw that much?
This game,
they got Zeke. They run
this
a lot.
game,
he was 34 for 47, 250
last
yards.
Last game he had 37.
What did you say his numbers were?
34 for 47,
oh, God, I thought you said 44.
450 yards.
I just think if he's scrambling,
but he
rushed
he rushed 22 times.
Yeah, okay,
and he's not going to be able to do that against us.
We haven't had too bad of a rush defense so far.
Not good.
But I just think if he's going to throw that many times, the more you throw, the one or two mistakes. If we can get 2 picks, I think that could be a difference. Definitely. Especially if it ends up being a high-scoring game, because obviously we're going to keep scoring.
Well, our 1 pick today meant a lot.
Yeah.
Because Cam Newton was having no trouble driving down, just getting that. And
yeah.
Did we score off that?
The next drive?
When we picked it.
What?
Yes,
Tonight,
we did.
when we picked the ball, did we score off of it?
We only punted like once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did score a lot, which is nice.
It's very
They're
nice.
finally letting Russell cook.
He's being efficient.
It's been great. He's always been efficient, but he used to only throw like, when we had Marshawn Lynch, he would throw like 25 passes a game.
Maybe.
But that was because he was a rookie quarterback and because he had the best goddamn
Not even a rookie, like his first like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was because he was a young quarterback and he also had the best goddamn running back in the game.
Yeah. And that all he started throwing more and more after Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
It's like, well,
and it didn't go well all the time.
Robert Turbin. Christine Michael, no. Thomas Rawls, no.
Thomas Rawls was good. He just got injured.
I really liked him.
Cheeseburger Eddie Lacy. Cheeseburger Eddie Lacy.
That was only
no.
1 season.
I was optimistic about that.
Was that 1 season?
Yeah, it was.
Or was that like 1 game? We had him on the roster still, but he did not do shit. We just gave up on him, I'm pretty sure. Showed up to camp like 300 pounds.
Yeah, still not a pass first team. Still haven't transitioned.
I don't want to see us transition there.
No, I'm fine with it.
I want us to be
because the run opens the window for the pass. You need to establish the run game for the pass to be successful. The defense needs to be protecting against that run, and that opens up the window
necessarily
for the big pass.
But that's if, like, you're the Patriots and stuff with Tom Brady at the time. They were able to
Stephen Ridley
to exclusively pass and
Stephen Ridley.
What's his name? You just remembered.
I just remembered.
The Saints also pass a lot. The Colts when they had Peyton Manning. I guess I should just say Drew Brees and Peyton Manning.
Now that we have Pro Bowl receiving core, we got 2 Pro Bowl receivers and a good tight end core. Why not make it this season?
Can you imagine?
I don't mean throwing 50 times a game, but let Russell, plan out to have Russell going 35, 40
because we've got great running backs too.
Right.
Our running back core is matured at the same time.
What's a good time to run is when the defense
5.1 yards per carry.
When the defense is backpedaling,
don't neglect that.
In the second when defense is backpedaling in the second half because they're thinking we can't keep doing these because we're throwing deep, every other drive.
Yeah,
that's the time you let them run it in.
Yeah,
we'll turn that 5 into 6, 6 into 7.
Yeah,
the same. Might as well mix it up.
No, I still think it's pretty good to have a balanced offense, but
on paper we're always going to be a run first team because
interesting.
Russell Wilson takes those opportunities when he sees them.
Well,
Yeah.
There's
That's on him. I'm fine with that
there's
being
about
on him.
25% of the pass plays that he's like, yeah, I'll just take this one.
If there was any time for him to take it over, it would have been that like Eddie Lacy year. But we still had Darryl Bevel, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that schmuck.
That schmuck.
Never liked him.
Well, I liked him when we won the Super Bowl.
We won because our defense.
Well, his job was a lot
That's-
easier when we had
That's the one
Marshawn
thing that
Lynch.
makes me think our team's doomed this year because defense wins championships and our defense has been thin and suspect so
They
far.
can get better throughout.
It can't. Do you see us to make like a late season, like a mid-season pickup? Do you want to see us trade for somebody, or
Sweet, yeah. Sign me up.
or do we just draft defensive players and hope? Because Russ is in the prime. He's in year 9 now. I see him to be in his prime years like 9 through 13 or so.
Sure.
Get an offensive line.
We've been trying. We've been trying.
Kind of. 3rd round guys, 4th round guys. Trades.
There's an offensive lineman coming out this year, and he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Jamari Salyer. You heard it here first.
Who?
Salyer.
Jamari Salyer.
This is what? I wasn't paying attention.
Offensive line.
He's coming into the draft this year.
Where is he from?
He's Georgia.
You just say he's going to be good?
Yeah.
Have you been following his progress at Georgia?
Yeah.
Have you actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's an offensive lineman, so there's not a lot of hard
Does
numbers.
he
towards him.
play?
He definitely does play.
Okay. Well, I'll trust you then.
He was the.
Are we going to draft him? You going to call Pete?
I doubt we'll have a high enough draft pick. I doubt we'll have a high enough draft pick to draft him because I see him going in the earlier in the first round.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Have you looked at any draft boards and seen where he is?
That's too early to tell.
No, it's not. They always make one.
But there's so much changes over the course of the college football season.
There is. Whatever kind of college football season is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to start off. I still don't know what each conference is doing, so.
So, we all predict a win for Seattle next week.
Well, no shit. I'm never going to predict a loss. Of course.
Yeah.
And it's the fucking Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys.
It's at home. No home field advantage.
What'd they say?
It's
You can
been a
turn the
fun-
fake noise up to
70. But ours is usually at 120.
Right.
Is this one, it's at home, you said, or it's away?
I think it's at home.
It's here, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't matter too much.
They said
this
that a
year.
lot of all of our away games are 10 a.m. games. I like our guys on the 10 a.m. games. I feel like they perform well.
Matters. No, not really. Usually we're pretty bad on the early games on the East Coast. I think, historically. Well, that might just be me
but that's-
misremembering.
Well, but also when you have a week like that, especially if you're having multiple weeks like that in a row, the whole team schedule will shift. Like we're just running on East Coast time this week. It's gonna suck. You're gonna wake up early, but we're gonna get off early, and that's the way it is.
True.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, what now? That's it?
Yep.
I guess that's the pod. We've all said all the things we said.
I got
wanted to say
nothing
about the
else.
Hawks. Nail biter of a game.
It's fucking
Holy shit!
classic. Always got to do it to me. Shaving years off of my life, week by week.
My hair is like standing up because I just spent so much time just pushing my hair back.
Oh, yeah. I had my whole beard and face in my jersey at the end there. And then right when I saw Cam Newton flipping through the fucking air,
yeah.
jumped
man.
up and gave him my good old Tiger Woods fist bump.
Yeah, I think that final 2 minutes, every time my dad and I would look at each other, we both just start shaking our heads before saying anything. Just like,
I know.
oh my god.
Those last 2
what
minutes
the
were making me so scared.
Yeah, that was not cool.
Whew. But I'm glad football's back.
Yeah.
Get back to a little bit of normalcy, but
God bless America.
I do not miss that feeling. The good feeling at the end when we won was awesome, but
Yeah.
that whole last
But that
2 minutes of that game,
that
was
whole last buildup
horrifying.
is that makes the good feeling feel better. Remember the Packers playoff game?
Well, yeah, we were watching the highlights.
Yeah, we
the
were
other
just
day.
watching the highlights for
But-
that.
Dramatic.
The thing is, sometimes when you have that shitty, scared feeling for the last 2 minutes, it ends in being very sad. And
It's not
that's
even
what
sad,
I
it's
thought
anger.
was gonna fucking happen.
I'm used to
man.
that too. Remember that playoff game we had against the Falcons where they just came
Yeah.
back on us in the fourth quarter?
I
Yeah.
sure do.
I sure do.
That was Russ's rookie year.
That was, yeah.
Because immediately people were like, well, they're like the team of the future to watch out for, and we won the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah.
And should have won it the year after.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Let's get back to rambling about college sports.
No, I'm done. We brought it up.
Okay, that's the pod. Week 2 in the books. Seahawks 2-0.
I didn't get the.
On our way to 16-0.
Where's the koala?
Oh yeah, the koala's not
bin?
in this one. Sam, he's over. He's over there. There you go. That's the koala. All right.